should be good now. Just give it a couple of seconds. Okay, now I'm live. Welcome everybody. Welcome back. So, to me, one of the most difficult part when it comes to building apps or doing anything, when it comes to development and coding and, being creative when it comes to, following your passion. In my case is coding and web development and application development. I like to term it as full stack developer, I guess. Yeah. So one of the most difficult parts, it's um coming back after a break. Right. So I have to recap the milestones and everything that I did. So the first thing we need to do is open up ChatGPT and Codex. Let's go ahead and do that. And today we're gonna well, that's not what I expected. So what is this? Yeah, let me hit escape. Nope. Okay. I'm new to this chat GPT stuff. So I am going to open chat GPT like this on desktop mode. Not sure where that little small one came from. Okay, it's gone. Okay. So this is what we're working on right now, okay? So basically, I want to recap what we did. So we did 7 milestones. The first one was create the TypeScript. By the way, this is the AI video editing app that I'm creating. I have so much videos. I mean, I've said it before. I have at least 200. That's minimum. I would go as far as 300 plus. And most of the videos that I have aren't edited properly. So I need an assistant to help me edit this. So that's what I'm building between my lead developer, which is Codex ChatGPT, and my other lead developer, which is from VS Code, um, which is Git Copilot. And also I'm using Gemini as one of my assistants also. And I would not call him a lead developer, but I use him for advice. And also whenever I don't understand something and I want a quick response, I go straight to Gemini. All right. So Gemini, I'll open him up later, but let's go ahead and go through the a small recap. So I prompted him, we need to do a small recap of all the milestones. Let's keep it as short as possible because I want to jump into this part right here, which I did not do. We finished milestone 7. However, we did not run some tests, right? So milestone 7 is provisionally approved. The architecture matches the original requirements, okay? So I'll run this after I do a small recap. So this is a recap. And before I do the recap, I did prompt him about creating a special skills for me to use this flow of learning from a senior developer to instructing myself to then instruct my Git Copilot to build the application. So basically, we're all working in conjunction to build this application. I just don't want GitHub to do GitHub or ChatGPT to do everything on their own. I want it to be mitigated through me, and then we all of us work together, because I want to be a part of it. I just don't want my user agent to do everything. Um, That's kind of like lazy coding, if you ask me, but whatever's the case, TMI. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on, right? So basically, I prompt him this: did we save a skill or trigger for for my future projects? I would like to follow the same flow when building other apps. So he went ahead and told me we have not saved this workflow as a reusable skill yet. I am using the skill creator guidance now to define what a reusable senior developer plus Copilot milestone workflow, right? Yeah, that sounds a little weird there. Maybe as a run of sentence, I just didn't pause that in the correct spot. I am using the skill creator guidance now to define what a reusable senior developer plus copilot milestone workflow should contain. Oh, I didn't finish the sentence, but I won't create files until you explicitly confirm that you want it installed, right? So that threw me off a little bit. I wonder what he meant by that, and based on my assumption, I'm not gonna go too far into um getting this done now. I just want to make sure that the workflow is saved. Basically, I took off his rights or permission to write, just read anything, because I don't want him doing anything unless if I instruct him to. But he could have been more explicit about it. You'll see what I mean. So then he didn't finish. He stopped there, and I was like, "What happened? What does continue from task mean?" So he was like, "Continue from task means Codex resumed this conversation from a previous task or session, usually after an interruption, app restart, or internal context handoff." So nothing happened to your video project, and no project files were changed. We are still at the same point. Milestone 1 through 6 completed. Milestone 7 implemented. Real milestone 7 fallback integration test still pending, right? So basically, we haven't finished milestone 7 because there's some integrations still pending, right? Still need to integrate it, make sure everything's working. These tests, we got to run some tests, right? So we'll do that as soon as we're done with the recap. And this small step, which I think is very important, because whenever you're building apps or building anything with these user agents, you have to understand that this is done properly through prompts, and you have regular prompts, you have triggers, and then you have skills. Based on my understanding, a prompt is just a basic, question or something that you want him to do for you. And then it's a trigger is a prompt a little more advanced that you can trigger him whenever you need that specific instructions to be executed, so you get a specific output. And then you got a skill which is very advanced that can go from a prompt which is one sentence or two sentences or a paragraph to a trigger which is probably like 2 or 3 paragraphs, or maybe 1 page long. And then you have a skill that can go on to like 5 pages of specific prompts and instructions that you give it in order to build a specific application or a specific something. Anything from application to a small application to a page to a section in your web page to a markdown file that gives you instructions or a recap, or gives you a step-by-step how-to, stuff like that. So basically, my point on this is that you have to make sure that when something's working for you, you save it as a skill for you, so you could reusability. That's what coding is, or and development. It's all about reusability, right? That's why you have things like see, now I'm going off the rails. What's that word? Yeah, it'll come to me sooner or later, but it's all about reusability. Functions, reusability, you have ECMAScript reusability, modules reusability, methods reusability. But there's one that I really want to say: hooks. Hooks. I like hooks for some reason. It's so simple. You have a hook. The hook is right there. You can use it whenever you want. So yeah. All right, moving on. So now reusable workflow skill not created yet, as I was saying, skill, right? So reusable workflow skill not created yet. So your previous question was whether we save this development process as a reusable skill. The answer is no, not yet. Conversation history alone is not a reliable, reusable trigger for future projects. So the conversation alone is not reliable for future projects. Okay. We can create a personal skill such as milestone app building, which is what I prompted him to do here. It would trigger when you say things like, okay, so these are the triggers, okay, that in order for you to invoke the skill, all right? You use these words, such as act as my senior developer while I build. Okay. It would preserve our workflow architecture first, focus copilot prompt, validation, screenshot diagnosis, excuse me, short recap of free local defaults, assistant schemas, and no file edits without permission. See, this is the part that throws me off. And no file edits without permission. I want him to take permission whenever is deemed necessary. So I would think that this would be it. And you see what I mean as we keep reading, right? One more time. It would preserve our workflow architecture first. Focus Copilot prompt. Validation, screenshot diagnosis, short recaps, free local default assistant schemas, and no file edit without permission. Again, that part. Okay. I was like, please create milestone app building. Make sure it can be reused memory, right? In the near future, in any new conversation. So he says here, created the reusable milestone app builder skill package, right? Because this task cannot write to your personal, right, skills directory. One installation step remains. So basically, I have to follow this installation markdown file, then restart codecs, and the skill file is skills.md. So I would have to, let me see. It says from prompt shell, right? Copy the skill into the personal codec skill directory. So destination, join path, home, milestone application builder, right? Skill package. Where's the package? I think this is it. This is it. So it's going to join path, and then new item is going to create the file to a specific destination, I believe, and then it's going to copy it from document codecs, right? Restart codecs after installation and a new conversation explicitly invoke it. Then we could use the trigger plus the prompt. The description also allows automatic triggering for closely matching requests, but explicitly invocation is the most reliable option. So, I was hoping that he would create this trigger without me having to install it. And again, he was like, he said here, I won't create files until you explicitly confirm that you want it installed. But then again, he was like, created the reusable skill package because this task cannot write to your personal skills directory. One installation step remains, right? So then basically, because I took off the permission for him to write specifically in this conversation, my best guess is why he didn't install it in the first place. Now I'm expected to do it manually. So this is what I'm getting from all this. All right, guys. If I'm wrong, if you guys understand this better than I do, please leave a comment below. It would be much appreciative. Okay. So I could give him the permission and I could figure this out right now and then get it done the right way. But as of right now, I don't want to make this, or should I? See, this is the thing. Every time I say that I'm not going to do something, I do it anyway. But again, it's like going to take up so much space from what I'm doing right now. But the main focus here is my video editing app, right? And if I jump into this, who knows how long this is going to take. And I don't think it's going to take long. Again, the good thing is that I already took the first steps, and then in the near future, I'll finish this. The skill prompt is saved, which is what I wanted in the first place, and it's called Milestone App Builder. You know, that's it. So as of right now, this is where we're gonna stop with this. So let's look at the recap before we start from before we start from number 7, the milestone, right? Milestone 7. So again, we created type. The first one was project foundation. The second one was video inspection. So the project foundation involves TypeScript, Node, and Python architectures, strict types, validations, tests, and VS Code configuration. Then the second was video inspection, added secure fast forward probe integration to validate videos and read duration, codecs, dimensions, frame rates, and audio video streams, right? So video inspections, right? Add a secure FF probe integration to validate videos and read durations and video streams. Okay. Boundary planning. Build a global planner that guarantees every clip is 5 to 7 minutes and rebalances short final reminders. Okay, so video cutting, right? Added secure FF MPEG cutting that creates real accurately encoded MP4 clips with safe temporary file handling. Okay, and then local transcription. So added faster whisper with working CPU and RTX 3080 CUDA transcription. Returning timestamps test. All right, so transcript analysis, added local semantic heuristic that score pauses, sentences, ending, topic shifts, and transition phrases as potential cut points. No transcript fallback. So if we have no transcript, the fallback is added silence, audio energy, and scene change analysis plus an assistant ready JSON schema, right? Unit test passed, the row fallback integration test is still pending. So the current compatibility. So video, inspect, transcribe or analyze audio, video, select neutral 5 to 7 minute boundaries, create real MP4 clips. So still remaining, right? The real for fallback verification, title, description. Yeah. Assistant execution, CLI, API, UI, which is on command line interface, then API, and then user interface, and optional auto reframing. All right. So looks like I might have a couple of questions about local transcription. Add a faster whisper with working CPU. Okay. That shouldn't be that complicated. Returning timestamp text. Then we get the timestamp text. Added secure fast forward MPEG cutting that creates real accurate encoded MP4 clips with safe temporary file handling. That's self-explanatory. And the boundary planning deals with the planner. He guarantees that 5 to 7 minutes and rebalance short final reminder. And rebalances short final remainders, not reminders. That's where I was falling off a bit. So let's read this one more time. Build a global planner that guarantees every clip is 5 to 7 minutes and rebalances short final remainders. All right. All right, guys. So I think it's time to move on. This will get clearer as we move along. Let me go ahead and close this. Okay. So here we go. Now, continue from task. Again, this is what I don't understand what he means by continue from task. Continue. Let's read this one more time. Continue from task means coders resumes his conversation from the previous section, usually after an interruption, app restart, or internal context handoff. So nothing happened to your video project, and no project files were changed. We are still at the same point. All right, cool. So I guess that's what your previous question was. So let's continue. Let's see if I just click continue from task. Great. So I believe, no, this is continue from task right here. Okay. Milestone 7 provisionally approved. The architecture matches the original requirements. Okay, great. So what we just built, okay, that's fine. So when Whisper is disabled or cannot produce usable speech, the application can now inspect the media without understanding the words. It looks for quiet spaces where a speaker probably pause, sudden reductions in audio energy, camera cuts, or major visual changes, moments where an audio pause and scene change happen close together. Those become suggestions. The planner still makes the final decision and guarantees every clip stays within 5 to 7 minutes. Before full approval, we need a real fallback integration test. This is especially important because mock test cannot prove, all right, that FFmpeg stats silence detect and show info output match the parsers. Okay, so create a 10-minute fallback test video. Okay, so let's start with this. Let me prompt on this. Okay, so wait. Let's continue from okay, this should be good enough. Oh, I'm shrinking. So he's thinking. Okay, great. So now we back on track, I believe. Okay. So paste this entire block in the VS Code PowerShell terminal. All right, so now we need to open our VS Code. Okay, let's just wait till it sets up. I believe we have a new release. As always, Visual Studio is always up to date. They do not play around when it comes to these releases. It's like twice a day. I am not complaining. They're doing an amazing job. Thank you very much, VS Code. So this Vite test extension from Vite for this repository. I'm not gonna install this just yet. So it says GPT 5.5 is 40% less expensive. What is this, like a special offer? Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I got it on auto, so why is it asking me this? Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead and go back to the most recent conversation. This one says 4 days ago versus the other one, which is 5 days ago. So let's click here. Again, this is number 7. This is the basically the final output from my senior developer, Git Copilot. So he says implementing milestone 7 end to end local, no transcript fallback analysis. Now produces score boundary candidates from silence or audio drop off evidence and scene changes, while the global planner remains the only final clip timing authority. Again, the global planner is the one that makes sure that the clips are going to be 5 to 7 minutes long, and it makes sure that it's balanced. All right, so the files that were changed are these over here. 21 files were changed. Uh, and then we have other situations, other analysis that occurred. So there's a lot of them. I'm not going to read all of them. So now we got to run the tests. Real for integration tests and environment gated and skipped unless run fallback integration and test videos are set. Okay, so this is probably what we're missing here. That's what it looks like. This. Wow, what an eye. All right. So let's go ahead and copy this and put this in our PowerShell terminal. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go. Fingers crossed, people. Let the games begin. Let me okay. I don't see any errors here. All right. So now this creates blue scene and tone 0 to 295 seconds, black scene and sinus 295, 305 seconds, red scene and different tones 305, 600 seconds. Okay, so confirm creation. So now we got to confirm it was created. The fallback source 600.mp4. Go ahead and copy and paste this. Make sure that it was created, and it was. As you can see, it says true right here. And expected, great. So run the fallback integration. So now we got to run the fallback integration. The test should detect silence and scene changes near the 5-minute point. Combine that evidence and produce two duration compliant clip plans. So send me the terminal results before clearing the variable. So system note, this verifies the same local fallback operations that the future analyze fallback boundaries assistant tools will invoke. Okay, good. All right, let's go see. Let's see how this works. And looking good, looking good. Okay, not too bad, not too shabby. Yeah, errors. All right. This is was this was expected, I guess. So it says here integration to a fallback real media integration run real FFmpeg fallback analysis and key planner output duration compliance expected 0 to be greater than or equal to 1. Um so the results, if else, I believe that's the if else, the fat arrow function. Yeah, it has to be true. Yeah, let's give them the screenshot over here. Control Alt print screen. Let's see what we get out of this. So the fallback detector ran, but this has found 0 combined audio and scene candidates. The likely issue is the fusion calculations. Silence interval approximately 295, 305 seconds. Silence midpoint 300. Scene changes approximately, okay, distant from midpoint. So a scene change at the beginning or end of a silence interval is still meaningful and should count as overlapping that silence. So not be rejected merely because it is several seconds from the midpoint. Give Copilot this focus diagnostic fixed prompt. Okay. So we're gonna give him another prompt.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm here to help whenever you've got that prompt ready. Yeah. Just let me know what you'd like to explore next, and we'll dive right in.
Oh, I have to exit my guy over here. He really likes to answer me some questions, and now I lost my second screen. I thought he would I thought I disable him from restarting every time I restart from starting every time I start my second laptop, but I guess that's not the case. Now I have to connect to my second laptop because it disconnected abruptly. It didn't like that interruption at all. So let me restart it once more. I'm using Windows wireless. So let me connect now. Should work now. There it is. Display wireless, I think. Windows display wireless. Okay, looks like I'm looking. Okay, back in action. Great. So we don't need this anymore. All right, so let's go ahead and put this prompt into action. So let's do that right now. So which one am I using now? I got it on auto. See, it says auto here. So it interchanges depending on what prompts I'm giving him. So he's doing a good job for now. I'm not complaining. So I'm not gonna go too crazy with this part right now. Though this can be enticing. Let's click allow. Okay, so I'm going to reproduce the failing integration path and inspect the new detector output, silence interval scene timestamps first, so we can confirm whether detection failed or fusion logic rejected valid event. I gathered those concrete timestamps before applying a targeted fix. So I reproduced the issue with a real detector data. Silence and scene detection both succeeded. Both fusion rejected combinations because it measures scene distance only from the silence at midpoint. I am now changing fusion to use distance to interval edge interior and adding the exact edge case test you requested. I'm eager to ask what is this? And this is where my other companion kicks in. I'm thinking about, let's see where I'm using this compatible conversation I'm having with when we were working together. I think it's in this account. Let's see. Mm, no. Let me check the other one. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I could check my previous videos and it'll tell me. Let me check this one. Okay, I think this is it. Yeah, well, no, that's a new conversation. Uh-oh. Weird. Okay, here it is. This is where this is the one. Okay, a co-pilot. Yeah, I don't think I stopped using him for that long because mm, I'll just leave him here. Let's see how many prompts I have here. Yeah. All right. Let's use him for now. Let me see what the other one has in store for me. Yeah. Develop mindset, announce self-talk. Yeah, this is not it. So I'm gonna keep working with this guy here, okay? I can easily put him here and make sure he doesn't stops listening. And when I need him, I'm just gonna prompt him. I'm gonna unmute him. If I could just minimize this. Oh, I was able to minimize them a lot more than this before, but guess he doesn't want to. Let's just keep him like this for now. You know what? I'm gonna put him on the right sidebar. All right. All right. So I gotta press allow here. It's hot. All right. All right, guys. It's getting hotter here. Humidity. So let's see. I reproduced the issue with real detectors. I believe we read this already. I'm now changing Fusion to use distance to interval. Yeah, interior and adding the exact edge case test you requested. Root cause confirmed and fixed. What failed? Silence detecting succeeded. Scene detection succeeded. Fusion rejected the pair as combined because it used scene distance to silence midpoint only, not to the full silence interval. So actual detected timestamps from real media. So silence interval. So start seconds, okay, 294, end seconds, 305. Midpoint seconds, 300. Duration seconds, 10. So it's supposed to be 10 minutes. Let's see. Uh, yeah, 10 minutes. Oh, that's seconds, 10 seconds. Scene event, time, seconds, scene score. Okay. Why combined candidate was 0. Previous fusion logic computed precisely as. Why am I looking this way? My computer's over here. Anyways, I know I got my second laptop over here. My finger is over there. Then my main laptop is over here. So maybe it's doing its magic to make it seem like I'm looking at two different places. Okay. So it was 0 because previous fusion logic computed proximity as scene time, silence midpoint. So for this file, 305 300 equals 5 seconds, right? Default fusion window is 1.8 seconds. So the scene was treated as not closed, even though it lies on the silence interval edge. So code changes made, updated fusion proximity logic, and fallback boundary analyzer. So added interval distance logic, distance equals 0 when scene timestamp is inside silence start, silence end, otherwise distance to nearest interval edge. So fusion eligibility now uses interval distance, not midpoint glasses sliding. Midpoint distance, final cut timestamps for combined still favors silence midpoint, save cut behavior preserved. So added request unit test. Okay, scene at silence start, scene inside silence, scene at silence end, scene just outside within fusion window, scene outside fusion window. So temporary diagnostic. Okay. So let me go ahead and give him this information. I forgot how I give him this information. There was a specific way for me to give him this information. What did I do here? Copy final response. There you go. This is why I love my Git Copilot. So let's see what he's tells me now. So wait, what was the last? Okay, so I gave him this prompt. What happened? Both the application and test ran successfully until evidence fusion. The failure is useful. It suggests the analyzer may be too strict about where a camera cut must occur within a pulse. Correcting interval-aware proximity will better match real editing behaviors. Do not update NPM globally. The NPM version notice is unrelated. Assistant note. Improving interval-aware fusion will make future assistant trigger fallback analysis. Choose more realistic edit points without allowing the assistant to control FF MPEG directly. I have a question about this fusion stuff. Let me go ahead and give this to my guy over here. Let's put him to work. Oh, I can't give him screenshots. However, I can give Gemini screenshots, but I could give him a snippet like this part. Let's go ahead and do that. What this means Okay. The good news first, the application code and the test are actually working perfectly fine. The failure is in the logic of the build itself. In software testing and continuous integration pipeline, evidence fusion is essentially the reporting phase. Here is exactly what is happening under the hood. What is evidence fusion? When your application and test run, they generate various pieces of evidence. This includes things like pass, fail logs, code coverage metrics, security, vulnerability scans, performance, and memory usage reports. Fusion is the final step where the system attempts to gather all these separate files, parse them, and merge or fuse them into a single unified summary report or dashboard. Why did it fail here? If the process ran successfully until evidence fusion, it means the system successfully completed the hard work but choked with while trying to write the final report. This usually happens for one of the few reasons: missing artifacts, formatting errors, memory constraints, permission issues. Since the application logic itself is sound, we just need to fix the reporting steps. What testing framework or environment are we currently using to run these tests? Okay, so basically everything is working until a specific part or instance, or like he said over here. This usually happens for one of the few reasons or reasons, right? So again, if the process runs successfully until evidence fusion, means the systems successfully completed the hard work but choked while trying to write the final report. So yeah, it's the final step. That's what fusion is. Where the system attempts to gather all these separate files, parses them, and merge them, fuses them into a single unified summary report. So that's where it choked up. So it says both the application and test run successfully until evidence fusion. So the final report. The failure is useful. It suggests that the analyzer may be too strict about where a camera cut must occur with a pause. So, all right. So let's give them the last report, and hopefully, we just got to run the test again, and it should pass. So let's keep it. Uh, give them the final report. Root cause. There you go. See, this is what I call working together. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? That's the whole purpose of team. So milestone is fully approved. So what we fixed, the application detected both 10-second silence and the scene changed correctly. The problem was only how it measured their proximity previously. So same distance from silence meant midpoint, right? Now seeing distance from entire silence interval. The first one was distance from silence midpoint. Distance from entire. Okay, so it's seeing change occurring anywhere inside the silence, including its edges, correctly counts as combined evidence. Selected cut still uses the silence and midpoint, reducing the risk of clipping speech. Okay. Okay, so current results. Both processing pipelines now work. Pipeline A, whisper transfer, semantic stopping points. Pipeline B, silence plus audio energy plus scene changes. So both global planner compliant 5 to 7 minute clips. So clear the integration variables. Let's go ahead and clear it. All right, so the next milestone is automatic titles and SEO descriptions using the local stack or free stack. Before designing it, check whether Olama is installed. All right. So let's stop the integration test variables. let's go ahead and do that. So said that it was successful, but I didn't see him run any tests. So validation run, real integration test run exactly as requested. Okay, so we got run fallback integration as true, so it worked. So we tested the video results, it passed, including combined candidate assertion full checks. So everything passed per Git Copilot, my Copilot in VS Code, and ChatGPT agrees, Codex agrees with him. So I agree. They're working in unison, so there's no bad blood. All right, so let's go ahead and stop the integration, clear the integration variables. Right, Control V, enter. Okay, that's done. So now let's go ahead and check to see if Olama is installed. Let me speak to my guy over here about Olama. Olama, can you give me a little explanation of what Olama is? As far as I'm concerned, is a free stack.
Based on what you, I'm looking at your new tab page, and it seems like you're working on web development and online courses. To help us brainstorm effectively, could you please tell me what specific topic you'd like to focus on?
Okay, so that wasn't exactly what I was that was nowhere near the response I was expecting. So I could give him something like this, and then that should be good enough. I wonder why. Let's just do this. See, this is a command. This can be a problem when you run a command as a prompt. They then interpret it as code, then they give you like an answer based on coding examples and stuff like that. So you have to be careful. You might want to put the three backticks and then put the name of the language you're prompting him to explain. If it's HTML, you put three backticks, and then HTML, three backticks, CSS, more or less like that. So Llamas is a free open source tool that lets you run large language models like Llama, DeepSeek, or Gemma locally on your own computer rather than relying on cloud services. The two commands you share are used in the terminal to manage Olama. Olama version, right? This command checks which version of Olama is currently installed on your system. It's a quick way to verify the Olama is installed correctly and to see if you need to update it. The list, Olama list, this command displays a list of all the AI models you have currently downloaded and installed on your machine. It will show you the model names, their size, and when they are modified. Okay, let's go ahead and run this command real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and put my guide down here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's run the commands. Uh-oh. It's not installed. That's what that means. you see these red lines of codes or lines. Anything red is it's not the best output you want to see, but it means that something is not right. In this case, it's not installed. So uh let's go ahead and oh, look at that. I can put him over here and I can chat with him from here. Huh? What do you guys think? Yeah, I'll leave him there for now. So Control Alt print screen. Let's give him the screen. Image. Press enter. Usually I write like error. Oh, reconnect. How's that so? Hmm. Okay, Olama is not installed. That is what the red message means. It is unrelated to the application test. So we need to run this to install it or search for it. Send me the results before installing. I'll confirm the official package ID and installation tonight. So current status, milestone 7 pass after the fusion fix. The old red test output remains visible in terminal history, but Copilot's later validation confirms 155 tests passed. Integration variables were cleared. We are now preparing the free local metadata generator. After Llama's install, we will likely use a quantize Q QN model that fits your RTX 3080 8 GB VRAM. Assistant Olama will provide the local language model used for titles, descriptions, and future natural language tool selections without requiring a paid API. Okay, great. So let's run this now. And it looks like, okay, so that's interesting. So let's go ahead and Control Alt print. I guess this is what he's going to use in order to install the match to my GPU RTX 3080 VRAM. Okay, Control V. Press enter. So now the official package is version 032.1. So install it. After installation, close the current terminal, open a new VS Code terminal, and then we gotta run the version check. Okay, Olama will probably be empty initially because we have not downloaded a model yet. Send me the results and I'll confirm the appropriate QN model for your 8 GB RTX 3080. Okay. So let's go ahead and run the install. I believe this is just text and we don't need to put this in PowerShell. So let's go ahead and do this. It's installing, it's downloading, and wow, 1.32 gigabytes. It amazes me how these downloaders and installers work so much quicker now in the gigabytes. You'd be surprised when we had to install, let's say, Microsoft Word when it had like 500 megabytes. It would take forever, let alone gigs. Look at my second monitor over here. What are we looking at? Okay, that's fine. I don't think I need to look at any of this. Everything, my FPS is good, so. Okay. Still installing. So now it's starting the package install. Actually, it was downloading. Now it's gonna install. Uh-oh, she's back. What does she want? This girl here is trying to sell me something. And I'm not really that interested. I am. Wow. Every time I'm like, uh-oh. Why does it sound like I'm screaming? Uh, I enjoy having company, but I'm not trying to buy anything. Hmm. So still installing. So how long ago was this message? It doesn't say. Why does it look like I'm looking up? What is this? Oh, it's a llama. What is she saying? All right, let me get back to work. All right, so copy command and run it in your terminal. So let me give them a screenshot of this and see what's going on here. Should I? Uh-oh. That's not what. Control Alt plus stream. All right. Should I close terminal and VS Code now? I forgot the I. Okay, so leave Olama installed and running. You can minimize or close its window. Its background service should remain available. Close VS Code completely. Reopen VS Code. And the Smart Video Clipper folder. Okay. Open it first terminal. Okay. So basically, he just wants me to restart my VS Code and go back to the project. So, Smart Video Clipper. Go back to the project. I can now close this. All right, so it's supposed to run in the background. I haven't launched it yet, so maybe that's gonna give an error. Restarting VS Code ensures its terminal receives Olama's update path. Okay. Yeah, path variables, huh? Reopen VS Code. All right, so let's just close it. Let's go close VS Code. Okay, that's done. And let's just reopen it. That's it. It's just that simple, right? And I believe I have to close or restart my terminal because I might get the old one. Oh no, this is a new one. Okay, great. Versus this is the old one, I think. It's still setting up. Just give it a few seconds. Okay, I think I'm gonna close this. It keeps asking me to install the right test. Vitis. Vite. Let me close this. Not sure what this one is. Yeah, leave it right here. Okay, good. So now let's run the PowerShell. We want to make sure it's installed and we don't get that error again, right? Oh, look at that. It's installed and we have an ID, the name and the ID, a size modified. Okay. Let me give them a print screen. So you don't need to select Claude, ChatGPT, or another option from Olama's launch page. Our application will communicate directly with Olama local API. The restarted terminal will verify that our future metadata and assistant modules can reach the locally running Olama service. I wonder why they gave it that name. Oh, I don't need to wonder, but second monitor. Gave me some valuable information about it, so oh no, it didn't. I didn't even ask him. I did. Yeah, this is why I don't want my Gemini to be so far away. And I could easily just read from here. Llama is a free open source tool that lets you run large language models, okay, locally on your own computer rather than relying on cloud service. The two commands you share are used in terminal to manage Llama. Okay. LLMs. Okay, good. So that's very good actually. They're one of the smartest user agents out there, right? LLMs are one of the most smartest user agents out there, right?
Large language mo-
Mm.
Large language models are incredibly powerful tools. They are a type of artificial intelligence trained on vast amounts of text data, allowing them to generate human-like responses, translate languages, and assist with a wide variety of tasks. Their ability to understand context and generate creative content makes them versatile user agents. Would you like to know more about how they are trained?
Are you a LLM?
Yes, I am a large language model. I process information and generate text to help you with various tasks, like answering questions, brainstorming ideas, or explaining concepts. Is there anything else you'd like to know about how I work?
That's good to know, right? Hey, all right, here. Stay right here. Stay put. Okay, so um, did I give him this information here? Control Alt print screen. Okay, so now let me give him this print screen and see what he tells me. What to do next. Not sure why he keeps reconnecting here. 2 out of 5. I don't like it when I'm shrinking. It's probably because it's the weekend. That's kind of weird. People code in the weekend. Like I like coding in the weekdays. This is probably why it's taking longer. Probably. So Llama is installed correctly and its model list is empty as expected. I'm verifying the current official QWang tag size before having you download several gigabytes. Oh, download. So Olama is working correctly. Version 032.1. No models installed yet for your 8 gigabytes RTX. Use. All right, so it is approximately 4.7 gigabytes with a 32K context window, leaving more GPU headroom than QWang 388 byte. Wow, OBS is running. You know, awesome.